Michigan Out of Doors Online is brought to you in part by Tri-County Logging. Experienced in sustainable forestry practices, Tri-County Logging can help you manage your property by keeping your woods healthy and generate income. Serving southern and mid-Michigan for nearly 50 years, TriCountyLogging.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others. Join the fight.
Hi everyone, welcome to Michigan Out of Doors. I'm Jenny Silik and we've got an exciting show in store for you this week. This week marks the beginning of the early elk season in the northern Lower Peninsula, and Gabe Van Wormer was able to tag along with one of his friends who had a cow tag. You won't want to miss this brand new hunt we have to show you, and we've got some other great things in store for you this week.
Well, that's right, Jenny. We do have a few more stories on this week's show, and they both revolve around the world of bass fishing. We're going to introduce you to a couple of young ladies that are getting into the world of competitive bass fishing and what that looks like. And we're going to spend some time on the water with a couple of old buddies that have been fishing together for years. So much good stuff on this week's show. You stay tuned. I'm Jimmy Gretzinger, and it's time for Michigan Out of Doors.
From the first spring rains to the soft summer breeze, dancing on the pine forest floor, the autumn colors catch your eyes. Here come the crystal winter skies. It's Michigan, Michigan out of doors.
What a beautiful day in the woods.
Someday our children all will see this is their finest legacy, the wonder and the love of Michigan. As the wind comes whispering through the trees, the sweet smell of nature's in the air. From the Great Lakes to the quiet stream, shining like a sportsman's dream, it's a love of Michigan we all share.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Country Smokehouse, a sportsman's meat processor and Michigan destination since 1988, offers a variety of homemade smoked meats and Michigan-made products in-store and online. The Country Smokehouse features an outdoor barbecue and bar. Details at countrysmokehouse.com. By Alta Equipment Company, providing sales, rentals, service, and parts because uptime matters. From earth moving to landscaping and light construction, Alta offers over 50 brands across 7 Michigan locations to serve you. More information online or 844-GO-2-ALTA.
WorkingPerson.com. From the factory floor to the job site and into the field, WorkingPerson.com supplies work boots and shoes, workwear, safety gear, and more for individuals or outfitting your whole team. Learn more at WorkingPerson.com.
DTE believes to lead, we have to do what's right. So we're tripling renewables and cutting carbon emissions in half over the next 10 years. DTE.
Well, September 1st is kind of the unofficial kickoff to the hunting seasons here in the great state of Michigan, with the early waterfowl season starting and then so many things falling in line after that. But actually earlier this week on the 31st was the kickoff of the early elk season in the northeast part of the Lower Peninsula. What we're going to do right now is take a look actually at a brand new hunt from last year. Gabe Van Wormer was out on the first couple of days with one of his good buddies who drew a cow tag last year. We have not aired it on the show, so we're excited to see that. And the odd thing is that Gabe Van Wormer also drew a cow tag for the December hunt. So I tell you what, those lucky guys just seem to get luckier and luckier. But here's a great hunt from last year's season.
Eric Young and I are like brothers from a different mother. Our families grew up together and we shared many a hunting and fishing trip over the years. So when he texted me and told me he'd drawn a coveted Michigan cow elk tag, I was excited to videotape it. Work began getting sighted in. Eric wanted to use his grandpa's old 30-06 for this special hunt. This gun has taken several deer over the years, but never an elk. The early elk season is broken into 3 segments to allow hunters a chance to hunt these awesome animals. Herd reduction is the goal of these hunts, and for the early hunt is concentrated on taking animals on the outskirts of their range where they are doing damage to farmers' fields. On this particular farm, they had destroyed a whole bean field, and every night they were working on the cornfield behind it. Each evening, the small herd would move from the thick timber to the fields, and we hoped on the opener we would get in between them in their bedding area. Night fell on the little cabin in the North Country where we were staying.
finally here. This has always been a long-time goal of mine, is to rub Michigan elk tag. Looking forward to it. It should be fun.
We climbed into a blind on a small field where the elk often moved through on their way back to bed. We heard a couple of bugles as they moved through the woods towards us.
Why are they spooking down through there? I don't know. To the west.
Little did we know that would be the only elk sighting until the second segment. The early season is a tough hunt with all the foliage, but it's always fun to be hunting in northern Michigan.
Beautiful red coyote that just come across the field. Pretty cool.
Although we were finding fresh sign, the first segment came and went, but we had a good tip on some elk in another area. We put on a lot of miles of scouting and spotted a cow and thought we were ready for the next day. As soon as we stepped out of the truck on day 2, we had elk bugling all around us.
This school got a great big bull north of us here. He's a beautiful animal. They are big. Wow. He's still out there right now. No, he's still right there facing us. Looking for a cow, though. Still pretty neat. Pretty cool. Beautiful morning this morning. It's 24 to 25 degrees this morning. I love being up here in the North Country. And they have a site like that tops it off. Now, any cow, they do that same thing.
We got one bugling out in front of us here. Eric's only got a cow tag, but these bulls are rounding up the cows right now, so we're going to try to call in a cow if we can. Sometimes that can be really tough. I just climbed this hill back here. He's stalking right over that hill. You heard one.
Just heard one. I think she's walking through the brush right now.
I hear her coming. Here she comes. Here she comes.
You ready? I'm done. Oh my goodness.
Called her right in.
Called her right in. Oh my gosh.
Nice job.
That's the shots I like. Close like that.
Oh, that was awesome.
Oh, what a beautiful morning.
Why are you breathing hard? Oh, that was awesome.
The shot looked good and we heard it crash just as she went out of sight. But there were friends and family that wanted to take part in this recovery, so we walked back to the truck and met up with everyone, then walked back in to share in a celebration experienced by very few each year in Michigan's Out of Doors.
Yep, right here. Hey, you hit it. All right. This is good news. There she is. She barely made it over the hill. I'm not still that. Oh, man, closer than I thought. Man, she went a long way. Congratulations. Very cool. Very cool.
For our next segment on this week's show, I was down in southeast Michigan to tag along with a couple of young anglers to learn all about the world of tournament bass fishing.
Right now we're right outside of Lake Erie Metro Park on Lake Erie, and we're out here trying to catch some bass. Right now I'm using a drop shot, so hopefully we'll pull in some big ones. I first heard about my school's fishing team when I was a freshman. We have a thing called Prep Day, and basically you can go down into the gym and it has all the clubs and activities that you can do. So my dad spotted the fishing team booth and said, "Oh, Rebecca, you have to go over there." And I had been fishing with my dad ever since I was little, so I already knew most of the basics, and so I joined the fishing team, and it's definitely been a learning curve trying to learn how to bass fish for tournaments, but it's been really fun. When you're in a tournament, it's definitely a lot more stressful. And then you have to do everything yourself. You have to tie everything on and net all the fish yourself. And it's not just, oh, I'm going out for a fun afternoon with Dad anymore. It's more of a, all right, let's get this done and let's bring in some big fish.
One of the advantages to fishing in these tournaments is that it forces you to learn new bodies of water, something Rebecca has enjoyed over the last few years.
Most of the tournaments we do are up north and on the west side of the state, a lot of the inland lakes. We've been to Wampers Lake, Mullet and Burt Lake, Lake Charlevoix, and each time we go, we normally take like the whole weekend and go up there, rent a cabin or a hotel or whatnot, and it's almost like just a family vacation, but instead of just going out there for fun, we're going out there for a tournament. Which is also fun. And normally we wouldn't go on those trips, we wouldn't try fishing on those lakes, so going and trying to fish on those lakes is definitely something fun and something that we wouldn't normally do.
After a couple of hours on the big lake, we decided to head into the Detroit River to try a few more spots. It was there where I was able to learn more about Rebecca's fishing partner, Kendall, and her path to tournament bass fishing.
Well, I had never fished in my life. My family doesn't fish, so I never had the opportunity to fish, but Rebecca, who has been one of my best friends for like a long time, she fishes, so I was like, hey, take me fishing one time. She was just like, well, I don't have a partner for a bass fishing team, so do you want to do that instead? And we can go out like every other weekend. And so I've just been doing that ever since last summer. I think tournament fishing is really fun. I like the competition. I like coming in with like our limit of bass, that's always a good feeling, and it's a good feeling to see the look on those boys' faces when we come in with all our fish.
There's not many female bass fishing teams around the state, and although these two anglers would like to see more of them, they don't mind being one of the few.
Yeah, there's definitely not a lot of women in the tournaments. There's one other all-girl team that we see from time to time, but it's mostly boys, so we really we don't talk to many people because they don't want to talk to us, which it has its ups and downs, but like I said, the feeling of coming in with all of our fish, knowing that we beat a lot of those boys, is a good feeling. I would say if you've never tried fishing, just try it out, because I mean, what harm can come from it? And it's a lot of fun. Like that feeling of first hooking a fish and getting to bring it in, it's a great feeling, and it doesn't get old either. So I would definitely recommend it to anyone who hasn't tried it.
As we made our way along, I was interested to get Jim's perspective on what it's like to be a boat captain for these tournaments, and also a father to one of the anglers.
For the Michigan Bass Nation tournaments, you have to basically drive the boat, and your job is safety, and that is it. You can't talk to them, you can't do a whole lot. You can have some coaching time, but they can't be fishing, and you can kind of tell them a little bit. But other than that, it's pretty much they've got to do it all on their own. So you have to get in and practice, try and get everything done during the practices so that when they get out there on the water that they can pretty much do what they need to do. Watching them net the fish and struggle to get that fish is sometimes can be a challenge. But it's fun, and I've enjoyed every moment of it, and I wouldn't trade it for the world, you know. We've had some successes, we've had some failures, and we've learned from every single moment of bass fishing, so it's been a good time. Nice little guy. Nice eater size, they say, right?
Boat captains, coaches, and sponsors are a big part of the reason why these events have been so successful around the state, and why they continue to grow.
My coach, Mr. Menser, he's an amazing guy. He's always looking for new tournaments and signing us up for tournaments. And he throws a lot of our local tournaments with just our school and other schools in our area. So I just want to say thank you for everything he's done for all of us. And even our sponsors, our team wouldn't be alive without the sponsors that we have, because you know, signing up for tournaments, it takes money, so they help us out a lot.
It's always refreshing to see young people enjoying the outdoors. Special thanks to Jim, Rebecca, and Kendall for letting me tag along on a fun day of fishing here in Southeast Michigan.
Fighting good, but.
Well, that was a fun day on the water down there in southern Michigan, and for our next segment, we're going to stick with the bass fishing theme, but jump up to northern Michigan, where I was able to tag along with a couple of anglers who are, let's just say, on the other end of the age spectrum.
Right now I'm throwing a topwater, a little popping frog, trying to drum up a topwater strike. As soon as the sun gets a little bit higher, I'll probably switch to a wacky rig. Gary back there is throwing a jig right now. So, on this lake, usually Cinco, wacky rigged, or pig and jig, or lipless crankbait are my three favorites out here. Unless we get back into the lily pads and the shallows, then I'll get my frog out. I think that's probably one of my favorite ways to fish. Of course, it should be everybody's favorite way to fish. Who could stand the blow up on a frog, you know, and a bunch of lily pads? The anticipation's almost as good as the blow up.
The topwater bite was a little slow, but we were finding a few fish on a jig and Cinco, a couple of tactics that these guys use on a regular basis. Today we were hoping to find some bigger bass and decided to cover lots of water looking for them.
There he goes. Got him on a wacky rig. Well, he might not be so small. Yeah, he's starting to fight now. Okay. Now he's mad. Well, it seems to be doing okay. We're still on fish, but we're not catching the big ones like we want to be. But they seem to like this purple Yamamoto. But like I say, natural shad does good in here too. But let's go get some more.
These guys fish together quite often, and as anyone who fishes with a partner knows, sometimes one angler just has the hot hand. Today, Gary was putting quite a few fish in the boat, so I had to ask him if this is how it always goes.
Do you always outfish your partner this bad, or is this...
Not all the time. Sometimes he waxes me, but we do it. We're a team. If I ain't catching them, I'm glad he's catching them.
He's catching a lot of cookie cutters. And some keepers, but I'm trying to find a big one, so I'll keep throwing this lipless for a while. If he starts catching big ones, then this thing will get put away and go back in the rod locker. If we're just catching them occasionally, like Gary is right now, we'll just keep right on moving. We'll keep the trolling motor on 25-35% and just keep moving across these humps until we find a good school of fish, and then we'll sit on it for a while until they quit biting. That's how we fish this lake. I wouldn't say it's necessarily how we fish all of them. It depends on the lake we're at, But obviously any lake, if you're getting them left and right, you're going to stay in that particular spot until, they quit biting, especially if they're bigger ones. If they're little ones, yeah, then maybe you need to move on.
But it's a heavy little rascal. Open up. Yeah, not a bad size there. Going slow. I don't know what happened to him. We're still grinding it out. We're looking for some big ones. We got some small ones, but we need some big ones there to make the day go by. They just seem to be hitting this wacky rig for some reason. Maybe I have to get my dynamite out. Straighten it out. But I don't know. Probably a breath of wind out here. That might have something to do with it.
Randy and Gary have both been fishing for quite some time, and in addition to fishing for fun, they also enjoy the tournament side of bass fishing.
I love the camaraderie, tournament fishing. I love the competition, and we got a good bunch of guys in our club. So, it's just a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. I've been doing this for 35 years.
It's just relaxing. It relaxes me 100%. I'd rather do this than anything, especially work. I really started getting into it when I lived in Texas. I used to fish them big lakes. Lake Fork, Sam Rayburn, Toledo Bend, all them lakes, Choke Canyon. And my buddy took me fishing one time. I was hooked. And next thing I know, me and my wife went out and I bought a little aluminum boat, and then I got a bigger aluminum boat, and I got a fiberglass boat, and I got a bigger fiberglass boat. But now I think I'm done. That's why I got a buddy who's got a big boat, so I fish with him. Putting up a pretty good fight.
Although we never did catch that big bass the guys were hoping for, we did catch several nice fish throughout the day and enjoyed some quality time on the water. Special thanks to Randy and Gary for letting me tag along on a fun day of fishing here in mid-Michigan.
Thanks for joining us this week for Michigan Out of Doors. Make sure you stay tuned in upcoming weeks. It's an exciting time of year here in Michigan. We'll be wrapping up with a few more fishing trips and we'll be focusing on hunting. If you'd like to see where we are and where we're headed next, you can always check us out online.
Well, that's right, online. Always a great way to kind of keep tabs on us. You can do that through our website. We have full episodes of the show there. We're on most of the social media sites if you want to see what we're doing there. We're also on YouTube, so lots of places you can be checking us out. But make sure you check us out right back here next week on your PBS station.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by.
Do you dream of somewhere bigger than your backyard? You can get there with Greenstone. Whether you want to hunt, fish, hike, or just watch the sunset, we're ready to help you own your place in the great outdoors. To learn more, visit greenstonefcs.com.
By GREENMARK Equipment. GREENMARK Equipment is a John Deere dealership network in southwest Michigan and northern Indiana. GREENMARK provides sales and services to farmers, commercial businesses, large property owners, and homeowners. Information about pricing and products available can be found online at greenmarkequipment.com.
By G5 Outdoors, makers of the Quest and Prime bows, manufactured and designed in Memphis, Michigan. G5 offers a line of archery bows, broadheads, and accessories on the web at g5outdoors.com. Closed captioning provided by Marvo Mineral, makers of Lucky Buck, deer management products including minerals to supplement deer diets year-round to improve health and antler growth.
When I wander far away, a dream stays with me night and day. It's the road that leads to my home state. I am a Michigan man. Changing seasons paint the scene like rainbow trout in a hidden stream. The white-tailed deer in the tall pine trees. I am a Michigan man. I am a Michigan man. Ask where I'm from and I'll show you my hands. Lord above, I love this land. I am a Michigan man. From the Keweenaw down to St. Joe, Kalamazoo, East to Monroe, to St. Marie and back again. I am a Michigan man.